Hey guys, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com. I have Andy Schectman on the line. Andy, it is wonderful to see you. How are you?
Always good to see you too, brother. I'm doing well. Thanks, Bix.
I want
Hope
to
you
show
are.
it. I want to show everybody the new shirt I got. It's Tyler Durden of Zero Hedge. Awesome. I mean, Zero Hedge, you and I both use it all the time. It's amazing how they can pick such salient articles from all around the world. I mean, with the landscape of so many different publications and so much going on, how they get these amazing, nuggets of what really means something is beyond me. I don't even know how. I heard it's just two guys too, but maybe not. Um,
You know, there's a lot of places to get information. One of the things I've always marveled about you is how you find information, and a lot of it is hard to come by. Where you find it, how you find it. I tell all of my brokers, that's a must every day. Spend 20 minutes scanning through the articles on Zero Hedge to find out what's going on in the world. That's just one place, but I'm a big fan. I remember the first time that one of my articles made it on there, one of my interviews made it on there. It felt like I got called up to the big leagues. I can't stress it enough. Everyone should spend a few minutes scanning the articles there, because there is a lot of good information that typically you'll hear about in the mainstream 3, 4, 5 days a week later. You'll see it on Zero Hedge first. So I love the sweatshirt. I'm gonna have to get one of those myself.
Yeah, the funny thing is, Road to Root has only been mentioned once on Zero Hedge, and it was to slam the road. I wasn't mentioned personally, but to slam the Road to Rutas. Somebody had given them the Fed comic books and said, "Oh, does this mean a return to the gold standard?" And they did a little spiel on the Fed, the Road to Ruta comic book, saying, "Oh, this is propaganda coming out of the Fed Boston." They had no idea what my analysis was or anything, but that's the only time I've been on there. All right. I want to talk about the U.S. Mint.
Mhm.
Um, Out of everybody I know, you are intricately knowledgeable about what is going on at the Mint, what they should be doing, what they should not be doing. I've been a customer of the U.S. Mint since the early 2000s. I started buying pre-65 coinage when silver was under. I remember getting pre-65 coinage below spot from a dealer. And this was back when spot was, I don't know, $5 or something like that. It was crazy. I both love and hate the Mint. Right now, I'm in hate mode with the Mint because they are not living up to their responsibilities. Where are we as far as, first of all, the Silver Eagles, and can you get allocations, and what the hell is going on with the premiums?
Yeah. Before I answer that, I'm going to talk about the Gold Eagles for a second, because in the 3 years since the virus, 95 or greater percent of every sale we did has been in silver. The world is buying silver. The world understands what silver offers. Forget about the manipulated price, which is completely detached from the demand. Forget about how ridiculously hard it is to find silver right now, and how hard it is to continue getting it in and rotating it in. Everyone's been buying it. And over the last 3 years, only this much of our business has been in gold. And when the US Mint called me as one of their 27 authorized resellers in July and said, we're curtailing gold production by 50% into the second half of the year, what the hell are you talking about? Why would you do that when no one's been buying it? You must have shelves and shelves full of this stuff. Yet my cost on Gold Eagles before I make a penny is over 10%. I've never sold them for over 6 in my career to the public. So that's where we start. When I look at the big wholesalers, the biggest ones in the world, they're sold out of everything American Eagle gold, all of it gone. And Buffalo, gone. Now, no one's been buying it. Where the hell is it going? And if falling price is a reflection of demand, well, shit, I have no idea what to say about that, because it's just gone. Now, when we talk about Silver Eagles, it's a different thing altogether. If you would have bought Silver Eagles from me in Thanksgiving Day 2019, you would have paid 329 over. I would have bought them back for 265 over. That would have been fairly consistent for the 30 years preceding my entire career. However, you called me back 4 months later after everyone's life was turned upside down with the cerveza sickness, and what do you find? You find $11 premiums on Silver Eagles, and they have never come back down. But what's interesting about that, until July of this year, the Gold Eagles never changed. The gold eagles were still the same price. You could get them for 4, 5, 6% over the price of gold, no problem. Now you're going to pay 12 or 13% over for the gold eagles and buffaloes. The silver eagles have gone nowhere but ratcheted higher and higher and higher and higher. The premium right now is about $16, and I am buying them back from the public at around $12. $12 if you bought them from us or you were trading them into something else. Well, we make zero, right? Maybe $11.50 if you're going to sell them outright. I never bought them from you before, but the point of it is that premium is massive. Now I want people to understand something, because I watched your show yesterday or the day before. Since 2020, Bix, time is like just has been thrown into a blender. And I have a real hard time remembering what yesterday was, let alone what, 2 days or 3 days. But I watched, and you talked about the US Mint in 1 day or 1 week put out 850,000 silver eagles. And are they going to continue to do that every day? They have the capacity. You said, I bet they stop at 850. I saw it. So here's the dilemma that a company like mine faces right now. So if I say, everyone's heard about the big order that I did, and the woman bought mostly silver eagles, 900,000. What if she says to me, I want to sell you 900,000, and I have to pay her 12, 13 bucks over the price of silver? And then the US Mint comes out and says, oh, Bix was right. We've been doing 850,000 a day actually for the past 2 months. And boom, here's this huge supply of 100 million coins to give our suffering American people so they have protection from what's coming down the road. Bang, I'm done. Because the premiums collapse, and I just paid out all of that millions of dollars worth of premium that I can't hedge. I can hedge the metal, can't hedge this premium. It's really a crazy time. And I don't know what to make of it, because they've never come back down. Because every time in my career that I've seen an anomaly in price, it's short-lived. You identify it, you exploit it, and you go. Now, we've seen this now going on 3 years of elevated premiums, not showing any sign of release, not showing of relief, not showing any sign of more production. The most optimism I've heard in 3 years about production was your video yesterday about the 850,000 that came out of nowhere. So is it a trend, or is it just pacification? Don't know.
Well, I was surprised to see it, because I usually check it once a week. They used to post how much they made in the week at the end of every week. Or, there might be a few day lag, but it would continually grow week by week. And they'd post, they hadn't posted anything for a month and a half. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I thought they had stopped. And then this weekend, well, I've been calling also. I've been calling the hotline for the bullion program.
I saw you gave everyone their number.
Oh, absolutely. In case you guys want to know the number, it is 202-354-6829. And it's the bullion program customer service. Now, let me just get to a couple things that stick in my craw. Being an American taxpayer, we are paying for the US Mint. They work for us. Janet Yellen came out with a video when they fired, or he quit, David Ryder after the redesign last year in last June. Came out with a video smiling and saying how much she loves the silver and gold eagle program. As a matter of fact, she loves it so much that the U.S. people have earned $30 billion from having this program. I'm like, wait a minute. I've read the U.S. Eagle law 100 different times, even though they change it almost yearly now. This is law 31 code 5112, denomination specifications and design of coins. And I want you to listen to this, because Janet Yellen specifically said the gold and silver bullion program has made, since 1987, $30 billion for the U.S. people. I haven't got a check from it yet. But listen to what it says. And this is Section F for silver coins. Number 1, the sale price. So they designate in the law how much they're going to sell these coins for. The secretary shall, which is important, they changed it to may and shall and all this stuff. The shall means you have to. The secretary shall sell the coins minted under subsection E to the public at a, quote, price equal to the market value of the bullion at the time, plus the cost of minting, marketing, and distributing such coins, including labor, materials, dyes, use of machinery, and promotional and overhead expenses. That's it. There is no profit that is legally allowed to be baked into the gold or silver eagle program at the level of the mint. And you are, you tell us all the time, it's really at the authorized distributors section and they can't help it because they're not getting enough, which gets to the other part. Notwithstanding any other provision of law, the secretary shall mint and issue in quantities and qualities that the secretary determines are sufficient to meet public demand. They did add that the secretary of the treasury gets final decision, but the decision has to be on, are we meeting demand? Not, they still have to meet demand. It has to be her that says we are meeting demand. Clearly we are not meeting demand. The authorized participants know that. That's why they're selling them for such a big markup. Andy, where are we and what can we do about it?
I have no idea where the hell we are. I mean, that's the truth. I've been saying for a long time, Bix, that product is going to be very difficult to get. I get a lot of crap for it. People say he's just talking his book. I'm not. It's becoming really, 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 really hard to get product. And I'd like to just mention an email that I showed you offline and just thinking about it over the last 2 minutes. Client says, well, Janet Yellen wouldn't be lying if they bought the silver for less money and then sold it and they make that profit. Well, that's not true, because anyone or any entity that is dealing in millions of ounces of silver and gold would hedge their purchases. So they hedge it against the market fluctuations so that when they sell it, they unwind the hedge. So that, to you, Clarence, that's not how it works. It would be hedged. They wouldn't buy the metal, hope that it goes up and sell it at a profit, because if it went down like it did in March of 2020, the entire program is bankrupt. So that wouldn't work. And you're right.
I do have not justification, but I do have the authentication that HSBC was running the hedge book for the mint for decades. And that hedge book is set up so that they don't take a profit or loss on that metal.
Yeah, it has to be that way. You have to. And it is the authorized participants who are making the profit. And I don't blame them. These are companies that, pledge huge $50 million to the mint, and they have customers worldwide, not just us companies like mine, but others that around the world. And they don't know what they're going to get. The mint has proven that over 3 years. All I can tell you is that getting the U.S. Mint product has been something I've had a very hard time recommending to the public. I've sat with them on my shelves for quite some time because it just is a deal where they've gotten so expensive. And my recency bias tells me that it's short-lived, but here we are 3 years later and we don't see anything. What I've been telling the public is, when the 2023 allocations come out, when we're allowed to start taking orders for 2023s, we'll see real quick just where the U.S. Mint is. If it were normal, then my cost on those Eagles should be $3 or less, not, I'm buying them back from the public for north of 12. So what does that tell you? I mean, it tells you that there is way more demand than there is supply. And even if the primary distributors sold them at these lofty levels, they wouldn't stay there if there was no demand. There are people that want these coins so badly that they're willing to pay those kinds of premiums. And that's all I can tell you, is that I have no idea what the deal is. And even more startling to me is the way that they did this with gold, because gold was a forgotten asset over the last few years, so to speak, where, yeah, we sold it and there were some big orders and people are still buying it. But if you were to, just compare the actual numbers of transactions that were silver versus gold, you would think that all we ever do is sell silver and gold as an afterthought just to, make some people happy along the way. That's truly what it's been for this entire industry related to silver. And the only mint, the only entity that has been this dislocated from reality is the U.S. Mint. And, pick your theory. I don't know what the hell they're doing, because if they just lowered their prices or increased quantity so the primary distributors could lower their prices, would be a better way to say that. they would sell so much, it would be unbelievable. That's all I would tell people to buy. That's all I ever did tell people to buy. Now I tell them to buy other things because the premium is prohibitive. And when you're talking about number of ounces that matter, this is really making it very difficult for people to protect themselves. And shame on the US Mint for doing this at a period of time when people need protection more than ever.
I agree wholeheartedly. I would, before I forget, in the back of my mind, one of the arguments that they have gone on allocation was that the U.S. government in general has to buy things at market prices. The reality of how the U.S. Mint buys the silver, processes the silver, and then sells it does not live up to that. I know Patrick Heller gave a speech on that, or wrote an article on that. The reality is the U.S. Mint goes into the COMEX and buys COMEX bars at spot price, takes the COMEX bars, gives them to the process. They used to process them themselves. Now they put it like to the Sunshine Mint. I think there's a couple other mints to make the planchettes, the blanks. Now, the other argument is, well, that's the process that is costing more and more money because other people are bidding higher. The reality of what fair market value is, you have to bid what the market is. So if the market is an extra $5 per coin to make the coin, that is what the U.S. Mint is required by law to bid.
Well, I'm going to answer that too. And actually, when you said that, it was kind of, you do this to me a lot, where you, like on our car ride from Texas to Oklahoma, the light bulb goes off. And if that's not the case, because actually it's very obvious, but I guess I don't know why I didn't think that's exactly how they do it. They do take the COMEX contracts and deliver them at spot. But if, for example, if I have a machine that makes 10-ounce bars, and we've been talking about making some Road to Ruta bars with you and Josh, and my cost of production hasn't gone way the hell up. So if you deliver me 12,000-ounce bars and say, make me coins, well, my cost didn't go up $14 per ounce to make those bars for you. So that can't be it either. Something is going on, because if Sunshine Mint is doing the refining for the U.S. Mint, making the planchets, turning those 1,000-ounce bars into planchets, it's not like they can jack the price way up just because other companies or other countries or other customers are willing to pay a little bit more. My point is that they buy the bars and take delivery. Those bars belong to the U.S. Mint. So that this private refinery is not going to be able to jack prices way up on the production of them. If that were the case, then the U.S. Mint would have to go back to producing them themselves. It's something bigger than that. Yes, you're right. They do take the bars at spot. They do send it to Sunshine to make the planchets, to make the coins. But it's somewhere from there to here. Mm-hmm. What's going on? And I would submit that if Sunshine was that high cost, they'd find another refinery to do it for them, or they would build one themselves, and like the Royal Canadian Mint does. So I don't know. It's an interesting question, but I do agree with you that if they can't buy silver for more in the open market, okay, fine. They're buying 1,000-ounce bars and taking possession of contracts. That makes sense. It's somewhere from there to the end user that there is a disconnection, and I haven't quite figured it out yet.
Well, here's another hint. I have here three letters from the U.S. government. Two are from the U.S. One's from the U.S. Treasury, one's from the U.S. Mint in 2013. Freedom of Information Act, I asked both because it took the U.S. Treasury Secretary has to instruct the U.S. Mint to go on allocation. That's what I figured had to be happening. So both of those entities have a Freedom of Information request section in their website. So I sent them both in 2013, Freedom of Information. Could you give me the emails which related to the curtailing of Silver Eagle processing? They both came back. The U.S. Mint said, oh, that's in the hands of the U.S. Treasury. The Treasury said that's in the hands of the U.S. Mint. So I have the two letters. I've saved them all these years. I have this letter that I got a couple months ago from Ventures Gibson. Ventures Gibson used to be the head of HR for a couple of the U.S. big entities. was put as the director of the mint for some reason, because she's in HR and they knew they wouldn't be making coins. Ventures Gibson gives me this letter. I underlined it right here. In the letter, she says, this year, we significantly increased production quantities of one of our most popular coins, the American Eagle 1 ounce silver dollar, which will lead to broader availability for our customers. This year, so they're going from the potential of making 50 to 60 million coins a year, and they're significantly increased. What, 70, 80 million coins? You know what they'll do this year? Right there now, they're at 14 million coins. So somebody,
there's only 9 weeks left till the end of the year. So yeah, they're not going to, they're going to be lucky to get 15, 16, 17 million max.
And they always shut down mid-November to the end of December because they got to change the dies to change the year, which is the most ridiculous thing you'll ever hear in your life. Why does an entire division of the United States government shut down for a month and a half every year?
You know, maybe one of the things that keeps popping into the back of my mind is that, you know, we see countries like Turkey, which bought more gold in the first 7 months of the year than any country on the planet. We're seeing all of these European and Asian and Gulf state countries accumulate metals. We saw India import as much gold in the month of August, 38 million ounces, as is in the registered category for the COMEX right now. That's the category of bars that are able to be delivered, which, by the way, is 1,800% over, how do you put it, rehypothecated. There is 1,800% more paper than there are bars behind it. But the point of it is that, you know, this is a situation where the amount of silver that is out there, that is available to be delivered, is getting less and less and less and less. And the U.S. Mint and the U.S. government, you never hear about them accumulating gold and silver. You know, you see that $12 billion worth of gold was sold by the Ukrainian government to fund the war. Where did it go? Where did Saddam Hussein's gold go? Where did Gaddafi's gold go? I mean, I guess the only thing that I could think of that even makes a little bit of sense is that, yeah, they may be diabolical and they may be ruthless, our leaders, but they're probably not that stupid. They know they're going to need to have gold and silver, and maybe they're stockpiling it. That's the only thing I can think of, because there is no reason to explain why, at a period of time when the American people really do need gold and silver to protect against the ravages of inflation and the mountain of uncertainty that's, you know, about ready to fall on top of us, and yet they're making it harder than any mint on the planet. And so it doesn't make sense, especially when we talk about in 08, 09, way back then, they were making 40, 50, 60 million ounces a year. And I remember back then being in the Brinks warehouse talking to some of the head honchos at Brinks, and I'm like, where the hell is all this going? Because we're not selling all of these. And they told me they're all on their way to China. Honest to God, they told me that way back when, and that all these silver eagles were in giant boxes and pallets and they were being shipped to China. Well, you know, where is it all? I can tell you that there's record demand, there's record draining of the LBMA and of the COMEX. There's record demand for silver. Where is it all going? If they have massively increased production, what is 14, 15 million? It's a joke. Something's going on, Bix. I don't know what it is. I really don't, but something's going on. And I think there's a fine line between conspiracy and reality, and we're right there on top of it.
Well, you just hit the nail on the head for the Road to Ruta people. When the comics books came out, the Road to Ruta, you know, the teacher's guide and the comic book, it came out with a banking basics pamphlet as well. And in that pamphlet, it shows Ruta walking up to a teller with 19 gold coins and swapping them, either getting cash bills or giving the coins, or vice versa. Clearly anti-Fed. This came out of the Fed Boston. So there is, I absolutely think there is some stockpiling, quite a bit of stockpiling. As a matter of fact, the back of the new Silver Eagle has the eagle is coming in with the olive branch in its talons right there. And the David Ryder, who was in charge of the redesign and fired in June of last year, said that was a eagle adding to its nest. That's what that meant. It's adding to its nest. And then you have the little notch on the bottom that everybody's like, oh my God, what's it for? It's clearly not a security notch unless they're going to put some kind of identifier in the bottom of every coin.
Well, I don't know if you noticed this, and I haven't done research on this, okay? But this is 2021. I guess it is on the bottom. It is. It's on the bottom of Lady Liberty. It's on the top of the eagle. I don't know if they've moved it in 2022. I have to look and see.
They started it mid 2021. They shut
No,
down.
I mean the notch. If the notch was moved to a different part on the dial.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if they've done that. I haven't looked.
Conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
So interesting stuff. Just to add to this, one of my subscribers has a friend who works at, I don't know if we've talked about this before, at this company called I think it's Dust Identifier, where they grind up diamond dust.
Yeah.
And they can put micro like QR codes into a spot as tiny as this. This coin actually has that identifier in the notch. Now, this is not
really.
This was done as just a, hey, get this for Bix, and they did it. I don't know if it's what the mint's using. I don't think it is. Cliff said there's some kind of a braille system they want to use, but the reality is these silver and gold eagles minted by the U.S. Mint are not being delivered to the people. I think it's because they don't want concentration of the new coinage to be with the small amount of people. Have no doubt. As a matter of fact, I heard and I have to go back and find this video. The head of security for the San Francisco Mint was on a fishing trip with these guys, and it's one of the guys I follow, and they're videotaping him. And he says they were talking about the coin shortage, because of COVID or whatever it is. Every bank is saying there's coin shortage. And the guy, the head of security at the U.S. Mint San Francisco, says, we have so many coins, they're like bulging out the warehouses right now. I don't know what they're talking about, a coin shortage. And I was like, holy shit, giving up the ghost. Now, he could say, no, these were like the regular nickels, dimes, or whatever, not gold and silver. But I think absolutely now is the time. I think that U.S. Mint coinage is going to be worth a hell of a lot more than just in the United States. Again, I don't think it'll be traded outside the United States, but who knows? I think it'll be worth a hell of a lot more than just a generic round. But
no question. Always has been. And if what you say happens, it'll be worth tremendous amount more.
Yeah.
So that's the point. Is it worth paying those kind of premiums? I will tell you this. If the insiders understood this, if the insiders knew that this indeed, what you're saying is true, it would explain why the premiums have never come back down, because they don't care. They'll just buy whatever there is. And so the supply demand imbalance would dictate price premiums that don't come back down. Mm-hmm. So maybe you're right. I think you're very enlightening on a lot of things. You think outside the box, and this is where we are, where I think everything is not as it seems. You have to think outside the box. You have to think 2 steps ahead, because a lot of the things that we're seeing right now aren't making sense. And this is, in my world, one of the most nonsensical things that I've seen, and that is the behavior of the U.S. Mint. If you think patriotic, if you think it's important to get a medal in the hands of the people of this country, then why the hell is it so difficult? Why are they making it so hard and allowing premiums to be like this? It's crazy. It's truly crazy.
But it does make sense if they are going to reintroduce this to the public, so that all the U.S. gold and silver coinage doesn't get concentrated in just, the smart gold bugs and silver bugs who are out there right now trying to get as much as they can.
Well, there again, you think in a different way. And this is why people love you. This is why I love you, because you think in such a beautiful way. That's true. Like my $50 million client, I have clients that own NBA teams. I mean, I have very wealthy clients that could very easily buy everything up. I mean, these are the reasons I think people like you. Of all the people I follow, you have a way of looking at the world that is very refreshing and in many respects makes me stop for a moment and say, wow, why didn't I think of that? So you're probably right. I mean, if you were going to redeploy it right now, it would be concentrated in the very wealthy hands who have the ability to do it. If you wanted to do it in a more equitable way, yeah, you would have to stockpile it and then pass it out in a more methodical way. So again, kudos to you. You very well could be right, and because I'll tell you, I have exhausted many hours of thought as to why the hell this is happening. Because, like I said, in all of my career, the one thing that sticks out to me about successful trades has always been identifying and exploiting price anomalies. This is a price anomaly in the context since 1986, when the US Mint started issuing silver eagles. It's never been like this. Yeah. It's never been like this. And yeah, there might be in 2008, there was a period of time where it was, but it was a short period of time and it took care of itself. Now, this is going on 3 years, and I don't see it getting any better at all. We will know very soon when they allow us to start doing the 2023 allocations. If I had to bet right now, my bet is the premiums do not come down once the 2023 allocations come out. They'll stay exactly where they are.
Question for you on, you said the gold eagles, you were given a note heads up. You were given a heads up that allocations are going to be cut in half. Silver, has any official warning or news release come out about silver eagles? They used to, in the beginning, they'd say, okay, it's going on allocation. They never said why, but they would at least say, I haven't heard that in a couple of years now. And clearly it's on allocation. They're not even making some of them. So you haven't heard any official notification. You've heard a lot of speculation, but no notification. Hey, authorized participants, we're going to stop, or anything like that.
Even more strange is I've never been told what exactly the notch is. I mean, oh, yeah. I'm an authorized reseller. I'm one of only 27 in the world. They've never really told me what the security feature is. Is it just a notch, or is there something more to it? They're very tight-lipped. And, when, for example, I was told, give you an example of how it works. I was told by some very credible sources last year that the Mint was going to shut down in April, and in anticipation of the Type 2, this new coin. And people called the Mint. I know Chris Marcus did, and did it online on the radio or whatever. And no, we're not doing it. That's wrong. We're not doing it. I can tell you 100% certainty that nothing came out of the Mint in April, in May, in June, until July, when the Type 2s came out. They may have said they were open, but they were not open. So the bottom line is that whatever is going on with the Mint, they are less than transparent. They are acting in a very inefficient manner, but their actions betray logic. And it's as if something bigger is at play, which is why the things that you say are refreshing, because I have banged my head against this desk until it bleeds thinking, why are they doing this? If I can buy Krugerrands and Philharmonics and Kangaroos and Maple Leafs for the past 3 years at $6, $7, $8, $9 less a coin, $10 less a coin than the American Eagle when they've been separated by 60 or 75 cents for 30 years, why? And if the US is supposed to be the epicenter of free trade and the model of what people want to strive for in capitalism and free market enterprise, well, shit, they haven't been anything but the worst operator on the block. And I don't know what to make of it. I really don't. When it really started to get unusual is when they did this with gold, because, it's like you would think gold over the last 3 years would have been the ice cream aisle in Alaska. It's like, yeah, everyone walks past that, right? And they go to the hot food section. They walk past the ice cream. Well, the ice cream was cut in half this year. Doesn't make sense to me because no one's been buying it. And so, like I said, what you said makes more sense than anything I've heard yet. And that is that they are stockpiling in anticipation of distributing it. Now, could that really be the case? Most people would say, hell no, that's not going to happen. But I don't know. I don't know any other outcome that even remotely makes sense to me, other than the fact that If it ain't that, then they're stockpiling it for the government's own national interest, that they understand that they haven't been accumulating, in fact, have been selling everything for years to suppress the price, and it's all been going eastward, and they're at the 12th hour. And if they don't shore up their own official holdings, everyone talks about China not being honest about their holdings. Well, I would submit the US isn't either. And so, who knows what they've been keeping and hoarding, because they can't be that stupid to not see what's coming. The rest of the world is accumulating it. Why wouldn't the US? So maybe it's that too. But whatever it is, I can tell you that it's wholly unusual, and it hasn't gotten better in 3 years. And if anything, it's gotten worse. When I look at the inventory of the biggest distributor in the world, they're out of everything, everything. The only thing that they have on today's price sheet were 2021 Type 2 MS70. Someone had them certified 1/10 ounce American Eagles at like 27% over the price of gold.
Wow.
And that's it. You could buy 50. That was it. That's it. And this is, I used to be able to, I could buy $50 million worth of gold and silver Eagles like that. Not right now. That order that we did in July, there is not a chance in hell I could get it done. I did it with 4 days before July 4th holiday. It was buttoned up, done, and delivered on its way to the depositories. Now, not a chance in hell. Not even a chance in hell I could do half that amount before the end of the year.
Let's get to that. What can you do for the people watching this?
We are going to run a special on junk silver this week. It's ridiculously expensive. I have about 30,000 2023 Queen Elizabeth Britannias. I have a bunch of 100-ounce Pam Swiss and Royal Canadian Mint bars. The cupboards are pretty bare, but I have been working really hard to keep stuff in, and I do have stuff that I can deliver. Lots of 1,000-ounce bars. Ironically, that distributor, the only thing they really had in silver were 1,000-ounce bars and silver shot. I can get 100,000-ounce bars, 1,000-ounce, 100-ounce kilo bars. I do have some Buffalo rounds. I do have some junk silver. I do have some Britannias, and maybe some Maple Leafs. Sounds like a lot. It ain't a lot. And, it's enough to keep the doors open and the lights on. But I'm telling you, if it continues like this, my guess is that the month of December, now that I live in Florida, my golf game is going to get a lot better. My guess is I'll be playing a lot of golf in December, because if I had to guess, there won't be squat to buy, because the mints typically shut down in anticipation of the next year's allocations.
Why?
So,
Why? Come on.
December is going to be slow, if I had to guess.
Why would the mint? I mean, this has been my argument for 20 years with the mint. Why shut down? Why not? All you're doing really is changing out the dies and putting a different numbered strap on. Strap it on and get on with it. It's
the United Kingdom proved that, right? Because we're already selling 2023 gold and silver Britannias. Mm-hmm. They didn't screw around with it, and nor should the U.S. Mint. Why did the U.S. Mint have to shut down in April, May, and June to issue the Type 2s? I don't know why they do it, but they do. Maybe they want to take an extra long vacation into the holidays. I don't know. But all I can tell you is 33 years of experience has told me that, this is typically what happens. So the pity of it all is that we are entering a period of time, or we've entered a period of time, where it's never been more important. And the U.S. Mint is not making it easy on everyone. But my promise to you has always been, I will move heaven and earth to help your people. And I will try my best to do so. I'll be very transparent about what is in stock, what is supposed to be here next week, etc. We do have some stuff in stock we can deliver immediately. If you want Silver Eagles, I have maybe 40 or 50 boxes of backdate Silver Eagles in stock. 2022s are a couple of weeks out. I did buy one last allocation, and then that's it. So I have stuff, but if one person said, I want $50 million, I'll take everything you have, it would be, good luck until mid-November.
Yeah. Andy Schectman, Miles Franklin, you guys want some silver, send Andy an email, send it info@milesfranklin.com, and he'll get you the pricing list, and you're off. I would say my recommendation is always get what Andy has in inventory or is about to deliver. You don't want to be waiting around these days just because, not that I don't trust Andy. I know him. We've known each other for a long time. I don't trust the system staying together.
Neither.
So
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. In 2020, that's exactly what happened. I had a few $1 million worth of Maple Leafs and Eagles, both ready to be shipped, and for by all accounts were on the floor ready to go when both been shut down because of the virus. So you never know what's going to happen. I agree. What is in stock is always best, and we have stuff in stock. Make sure when you send that email, you put Bix sent me. You'll get my attention, my office's attention, and special treatment. Bix, we love you. We thank you. I'm always here for you and your people. I wish you and everyone out there a good day. I hope you stay well. And if there's ever anything crazy, which seems to be happening on a greater pace and with more regularity, I'm here, just a phone call away. So thanks for having me today, and look forward to picking up where we left off real soon.
absolutely. Mr. Andy Schectman has been helping us for a very long time on the Road to Ruta. I want to thank you, and thank everybody out there for following the Road to Ruta. I know it's not a really easy thing to follow, but always said at the end of the day, I think the Road to Ruta theory will be closer than anything else out there. So we'll see what happens. Andy,
this is my dog saying goodbye to you and everyone else out there.
Love it.
Take
Talk
it
to you
easy,
later.
Dixie.
All right, bye-bye.
See you, brother.